Welcome to Qbaby's Let's Be Honest. I'm here with my special guest.
My name is Randy. Yeah, I do a little bit of promoting, a little bit of OnlyFans and modeling. My link coming up here soon. Promotions for Qbaby's Let's Be Honest podcast is my main project right now. You guys will see a lot coming from that here soon.
So today's topic is going to be why don't men and women leave before cheating? So, in your opinion, what do you think it is?
I honestly don't know why they don't leave before they cheat. I tell people, if you're not happy with me, just tell me and leave. Don't leave your shit in the house that we share. Don't let me look at your stuff while you're not there and make me have to deal with all those emotions while you're out enjoying yourself. Just simply take your stuff and go. I don't really know why they don't.
I don't know. I think in some cases that some men and some women are afraid to express what it is that's lacking, I guess, in their relationship, because they're afraid to hurt their partner in telling them something. You know what I'm saying? Like in some cases, like, oh baby, like I just feel like we're losing connection because we're not spending any time together. You know what I'm saying? No quality time, or you know what I'm saying? Maybe, you know what I'm saying, it can be stuff around the house, or maybe it's, you know what I'm saying, work related. You know what I'm saying? Like I think that a lot of relationships forget to break down, you know what I'm saying, and trying to being able to reconnect at least. You know what I'm saying? That's the reason why I tell a lot of guys and a lot of women, like, when you're in a relationship, you want to at least have one day out of the week that y'all have a time just for each other. You know what I'm saying? For y'all can reconnect, you know what I'm saying, become intimate with one another again. Because sometimes in a lot of relationships, definitely over a long course of time, you kind of like, I don't know, I guess you kind of like forget that you have a partner that has needs just like you. You know what I mean?
I've had a lot of self-growth over the last several months, so that does make sense. But with open communication from the start of a relationship,
Yeah.
those things can be avoided. But if people are on two different levels with communication, it's not going to work. If they can't be open and honest about every detail of their life, it's not going to work. It's supposed to be your partner. You're supposed to be able to share everything with that person.
True.
Also including taking the time to, rekindle after having a disagreement, or even more so just taking time once or twice a week to sit down with your person and talk about things from bills to things you can improve on to what you love about each other.
I think that's something that you really hit on when you was talking about finding out what you still love about each other. Because I think a lot of people forget, like, what got y'all together at the start, and when they get like so far in a relationship, they forget that and they start to slack in those areas. And I think that's where the rekindling and trying to always spend each and every day to try to reconnect, you know what I'm saying, with one another.
So I'm not speaking to my father right now, which sucks. I love my dad wholeheartedly. I'm a daddy's girl all the way. Hi, Dad, by the way. I love you. I miss you. But one thing, my dad's always done is, rekindled. He's not a perfect man. He's been married several times, but he does try to let his woman know that he loves her. He tries to take that time. Now, if you're constantly dating someone, you never stop dating. You're compatible in the beginning for a reason.
Like, that's the reason.
You're attracted to one another. You can talk to each other. There's a reason. But if you stop dating each other, it's gonna go south, and a lot of people are gonna look for that attention elsewhere.
I understand that because
you're not feeding each other. When you don't feed each other, you don't grow.
I definitely agree there, because like I always say, like, even when it comes to me, is that when I date to marry.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? So I don't date just to, you know what I'm saying, have fun or to play around. Like, when I date a girl, when I say let's be an item, I look at you as a woman that I'm vetting, or if it's in the reverse world, she's looking to vet the guy that she's talking to see if he's worthy of being a husband, just like I'm looking for if a woman is worthy to be a wife. You know what I'm saying? So the thing is that I date in the intention of getting married. I don't date to just play around or just to have some fun for a little while. Like I'm looking for that forever. You know what I mean? Like me personally. And I think in dating today is that a lot of people get in a relationship, but they're not looking at the work it's gonna take to make it to forever. Like I seen like this old couple that's been married for over like I think like 60 years, and like her husband had died or whatever, and like you know what I'm saying, she made sure that she bought the grave right beside him. You know what I'm saying, and for the next 21 years or whatever, I think she died at like 90 something or whatever, and she made sure she got buried beside the man. But before she had died, her last words was like, "I'm glad I get to finally be back with the man that is the love of my life."
And
You
that's
know
the
what I'm saying?
sweetest thing in the world.
I mean, like a lot of people don't realize.
A lot of people don't date to marry. Like that's one thing that my parents taught me growing up too. You date to marry, and I did do that, and I was married and I was divorced. My husband was a wonderful man, still is. Just we have our differences. However, I kind of went astray for a little while. Now that I'm in my 30s, dating to marry ultimately,
It's harder.
it's harder, but at the same time, that's still the goal.
True. But the thing is that I want your opinion on this. Like, do you think that if you could go back, what would you tell your younger self? You know what I'm saying? When you did get that opportunity to be married, because a lot of women don't get that opportunity at that age. You know what I'm saying? Younger wise.
I went from living at home.
Hmm.
I had been out on my own. I had made my fair share of mistakes. I was done with my mistakes when I met my husband at 21. I was young.
Hmm.
Got married when I was 22, like 6 months after we got together.
Mm-hmm.
I knew he was my life partner.
Hmm.
He never cheated on me, never put his hands on me, never did anything. Our main issue was, being an addict is very hard. I've been clean for roughly 13 years. My ex-husband has struggled a little bit with his addiction, and that's the only thing that I told him I wouldn't stand for. I offered him help for several years. He didn't want it. I tried to leave with the kids and separate, but not divorce. He didn't want me to leave, so I stayed. About 3 years into it, I couldn't do it anymore. So I would have told my younger self to stick it through, because he was a good man and he had the potential to be clean. He was a good provider. He was a good leader for a family. My kids love their daddy. They look forward to dinner every night, with their family at the table.
Mm.
Like, people don't do that
Rare.
anymore.
Yeah, that's something that's very rare.
So for me, it would have been to jump into that motherhood role. Like, I was a good mom. I stayed home with my kids. I was tired a lot. I had kids back to back to back to back to back. I was done with kids. I had 5 kids. The oldest is adopted, so I had 4 children that were with me. By the time I was 26, I was completely done with children.
I can understand.
So in 4 years, I had 4 children, essentially. I was tired. I guess being a better housewife, getting into that role. Because now that I'm 30-something, I look around and I'm like, oh my gosh, I want to clean up. But back then it was, I'm too tired. I don't want to. So I guess it would have been maybe sticking it through, giving him a chance to get it together, because I don't believe in divorce. So the fact that I had to be the one to file, it broke my heart. It really did. It broke my heart. I made a lot of bad choices, not with drugs, just in general.
Yeah.
After my divorce, because I didn't know how to live. I had been a stay-at-home wife and a mom for 5 years when I went back into the work industry. That was a big jump for me.
I can understand. I think a lot of people in that situation that are stay-at-home moms is that they get into a relationship with someone and they probably get married or whatever, and not saying that they don't want to be a dutiful wife and things like that. I think they lose their sense of self, and that's the reason why when it comes to a lot of men, that me personally, I'm gonna use myself as an example. Like, something that I would do is that when I date a woman and like I tell her, like, your job is optional. Like, I want you to go out and pursue your career if that's what you want. You know what I'm saying? I want you to have your sense of self. I want you to have your sense of like achievement in whatever you want to do in life. But I just want you to know, like, the money that I make is gonna make sure that we're forever good. Like, the foundation of everything. Like, you're not gonna have to worry about the lights going out You ain't gonna have to worry about a roof not being over our head. You're not gonna worry about food not being on the table. You're not gonna worry about if clothes are gonna be on our back, or if we're gonna be able to take a trip here or take a trip there once a year or something like that. Like, my duty as a man is to provide for you and our legacy that we create together. You know what I mean?
And that's beautiful. But a lot of people, I did lose my sense of self.
Yeah.
I didn't know I was beautiful. I didn't know that I had the potential to, I guess, get that before baby body back. I didn't know that I had value as a person. I thought that my only duty in life was to be a wife and a mom, and it didn't matter if I was covered and spit up and in old clothes and leggings and just looking a mess. I didn't know that there was something aside from that. And until after my divorce, that's when I started modeling. I was plus size, and I had to learn how to love myself at that size. Now I'm smaller, and I got the skin left over, and I still got to learn how to love myself at this size. But I am confident, and I have found myself, and that's.
I think a little by little, you're, because this is the reason why I say, like, when I talk about standards, you know what I'm saying? I think a lot of guys that get with women, they don't have standards, and women choose these guys, and then they don't figure out that these guys have standards until these guys are older. Because, see, guys don't start to develop any part of standards until they're like 30. For guys that want to be in a healthy, successful relationship, because.
But even then, though, you have some in their 30s,
Yeah.
some in their 40s.
Yeah, they don't have
who don't have that mentality.
True.
They're still living as if they are late 20s, mid 20s.
Yep.
Got, all the time left in the world. But in reality, the longevity of a lot of people's family is between 70